Welcome to the Path to Mindset Mastery. My name is Brad Bizjack. I'm a mindset strategist and coach, inspirational speaker, and creator of Appreciation Academy. And I have a question for you as we get started today. Do you ever have people in your business that you're going through and you're getting really frustrated as to why they're not doing what you want them to do? Or maybe you see someone in your family, or maybe you see your spouse or your parents, like the way they act is almost bringing up some frustrations within you. I know when I was building a business, I would start off and I would think, why don't these people build? Why don't they want to join me? Why don't people sign up? Why aren't my posts getting as many likes? And you get so frustrated with it, right? Almost like it sucks the joy out of what you're doing. And it's almost like until they do something or take a specific action that you want them to take, you feel frustrated and stressed and panicked. And it's not a fun way to live. And it leads to sitting on the couch. This is what it did for me, at least. It leads to sitting on the couch wishing things were different, but not having the energy to do it because you're in such a low energy state that you don't know how to break through. So you start to get into a panic of, why isn't it working out for me? And it turns into this stream of learned helplessness where you almost think like things are harder for you, or things are different for you, or other people just don't get it. And you feel stressed out all the time on a regular basis. It's the killer of joy in most businesses. And that, my friend, if you are dealing with it, if you want to know what the killer of joy in your business is, it's really, really simple. It's expectation. It's expectation. When you have an expectation of how things should be, and they're not in alignment with how things are, you get frustrated, right? Like, I'm going to give you the formula for happiness right now. Happiness means your life conditions match up with how you think life should be. That's happiness. Like, think about any area of your life where you're genuinely happy. Your life conditions match up with how you think it should be. Then what's the formula for unhappiness? Really, really simple. Your life conditions, meaning the way life is right now, don't match up with how you think it should be. That's unhappiness. And then there's depression, which is my life conditions don't match up with how I think it should be, and I think there's nothing I can do about it, right? That's depression. But let's go from happiness to happiness. How do we do that? We can either change our life, or we can change how we think life should be. It's really, really simple. And in my just kind of the experience I've had going through life, I've learned that it becomes easier to change my life conditions if I change what I think life should be. So how do we break through that? How do we change what life should be so we're feeling alive every day regardless of if people are doing what you want them to do? And it's really, really simple. Trade your expectations for appreciations and your life changes in a single second. I did not create that quote. That's a Tony Robbins quote. Trade your expectations for appreciations and your life changes in a single second. Because think about this. If you're in a state of frustration because people aren't joining you, or if you're in a state of frustration because your spouse isn't doing what you want them to do, if you're in a frustration or anxiety because your to-do list isn't done all the way, or if you're stressed out because of what your parents said, whatever it is, if you're stressed out about something, what type of energy do you bring to solving that problem? Is it great energy or is it crappy energy? Obviously, it's crappy energy, right? You bring frustration. You bring panic, you bring anxiety, you bring despair, you bring judgment, you bring fear, you bring all those negative things, right? And from that state of all that negative stuff, does that put you in a spot to be able to solve the problem? Are you creative when you're frustrated? Are you excited when you're frustrated? Are you passionate when you're frustrated? No, not at all. You're not any of those things when you're frustrated or any of those disempowering emotions, but we expect the solution to come when we're in that state. It doesn't make sense. See, focusing on the problem perpetuates the problem. It makes it worse. And your life changes instantly whenever you release that expectation of how things should be and realize that life is exactly as it's meant to be. You're exactly where you need to be. It's not wrong to be where you are. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. What I used to do is I used to say I should be somewhere else. I should be further along. I should be at that income level, that rank, whatever it was. And I just said I should or shouldn't be so many times. And it would leave me in this state of helplessness where I didn't realize what was going on. I didn't realize why I couldn't break through. But I needed to realize in that moment that until I learned to genuinely love where I was at in my life right now, there's no way that I was going to create the life that I wanted. Because, hear me loud and clear, business success and money are not going to bring you happiness. They're not. Happiness is what brings you those things. Happiness and appreciation for the journey and the challenge is how you overcome the challenge. When you can start to love things that are not in line with your expectations, that's where the game changes. Because then all of a sudden you start receiving the lesson life's trying to teach you to get you to the next level. You start feeling like you have a solution in mind, because focusing on the problem perpetuates the problem. But when you focus on the solution, you break through so much faster, right? So one of the things that I absolutely love is the idea of, if you want to lose weight, you have to love the body you have now. Why is that true? Because your body is the only thing that you have right now. It's the only vessel you have to change your life, so why would you hate it? Just like your existing life right now is the only thing you have right now to change your life, so why would you hate it? It doesn't make sense. In fact, your life is never going to change if you hate the life you have now. Finding appreciation for where you are right now is what changes the game forever. And when you find appreciation for where you are right now, guess what state you get into? Joyful, happiness, playful, alive, passionate, free, grateful, all these things. You feel amazing every day. And when you feel amazing every day, how do you think that affects what you put out there on social media? How do you think it affects the way that you interact with your spouse? How do you think it affects your invites? How do you think it affects everything you do in your business and in your life? It changes everything when you're in that positive state. And to the perfectionist, it feels like a massive step forward, because they're going, no, I need to get this now. I need to figure this out right now. And if I can't figure it out, I can't be happy, right? That's how a lot of people go through life. But I'm telling you that if you take what feels like a massive step back, it's actually a massive leap forward. It's a giant leap forward, because all of a sudden you're appreciating things that are out of line with your expectations. You're changing how you think it should be. And when you change how you think it should be, it puts you in that more positive state, which allows you to find a solution, which allows you to change your life conditions. So all of a sudden, when your life conditions don't match up with how you think life should be, you change how life should be, get yourself in a great state. That allows you to go from unhappiness to happiness, because you find the solution. Does that make sense? So you need to live in a constant state of gratitude. When something doesn't go your way or in line with your expectations of how you think things should be, get grateful. Have some perspective and realize how easy you have it. Have some perspective and realize that if you're listening to this podcast, you're in the top 1% of the world. Like 2/3 of the world live on $900 a year. Like, think about that. Could you imagine living on $900 a year right now? You just feel panicked all the time, right? We don't have significant problems. In fact, I'm going to do a podcast pretty soon about the world's greatest drug, which is, it's not like a drug problem. The world's greatest addiction, I should say. It's not a drug problem. It's not an alcohol problem. The world's greatest addiction is to our problems. And if we let go of our problems, we start to appreciate where we are, we start to find the solution. So I don't know what you're going to do for your state of genuine gratitude. I have a practice that I do every day for 5 to 10 minutes that makes me feel fully alive every day as I start my day. What's yours? What's your practice? And let me ask you this. Because you're so stressed out because you're not meeting your expectations, you might have a gratitude practice, but let me guess. It's that thing where you're so stressed out about your day-to-day life that you rush through your morning routine and check things off on a gratitude journal just to feel better about things, right? You're rushing through it. You don't actually take time to feel it in here in your heart. Take time to practice genuine gratitude for all the things that go your way and don't go your way, all the little things and the big things, all the things that are exciting and all the things that are totally out of alignment with what you want. When you're grateful for all of it, it makes life really, really easy, really, really quick. And people will look at you like, how are you this happy all the time? How are you this joyful all the time? How do you feel so alive, and how do you have such a positive mindset? It's because of the solution of gratitude. It allows you to, just like Tony Robbins says, trade your expectations for appreciations, and your life changes in a single second. When you do that, the game changes forever. It changes forever, my friends. So as we get finished with this podcast today, I have a challenge for you. So what I'd like to do is give you a gift today that will allow you to live in this grateful state no matter what happens. If you're listening to this, I'm going to gift you a book. And that book is something that helped me tremendously live in a grateful state no matter what happens. It allowed me to trade my expectations for appreciations. It allowed me to feel alive and happy when things around me weren't going well. And it's one of the greatest books that's ever changed my life. And so I'd love to give that to you for free today. So I'm going to do a raffle. All you have to do, really, really simple, takes 2 seconds. All you have to do is head to my iTunes, this podcast on iTunes, give it a rating and review. Whatever rating you feel is appropriate, a star rating you feel is appropriate, and a review, a written review about how this has made an impact in your life. Do those two things, then send a quick email to brad@bradbizjack.com and have the headline be rating and review, and just insert your name and email address in the copy of that email. If you do those things, star rating and written review, send an email to brad@bradbizjack.com with the headline being rating and review, and in that, the body will just be your name and email address. What I'm going to go ahead and do is anyone that does that today, I'm going to go ahead and enter you into a raffle to win my all-time favorite book for overcoming this expectation and living in a genuine state of appreciation, and I'm going to send that out to you this week. So go ahead and do that right now if you feel so inclined to do it. I truly appreciate it. That way we can get this message to more people. We can help more people. And if you're sharing this, what I encourage you to do is if you share this podcast, start using the hashtag happiness comes first. Happiness comes first. Because just like we talk about, guys, business success and money don't create happiness. Happiness creates success. So use that hashtag. Happiness comes first when you share this on your Instagram stories, when you share this with other people. And it will start to get a trend going of people believing that, okay, if I learn how to be happy, then my business will come to fruition. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for tuning into the Path to Mindset Mastery. My name is Brad Bizjack. Go out there today and every day and live your life with a genuine smile on your face. I look forward to seeing those rating and reviews and look forward to seeing those hashtags. Share this with people that you know could benefit from it. And I cannot wait to see you next week.